Hello everyone and welcome to another match reaction show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for this evening. Darwin Núñez saves the day. That is the headline, and what makes it sweeter is that Arsenal drew against Villa early this evening, which means we now have a 7 point gap with a game in hand. What a great start to the weekend. During the show today, I'll do a quick match review and then I'll also do a player ratings. It's also a calling show, so if you'd like to come on and have your say, a link has been pinned in the live chat. So feel free to join and I'll get you on in due course. So let's discuss the key moments in the game. In the first half, I think Brentford probably had the first real opportunity in the game as Rosalev runs down the right hand side on overlap and hits a low cross into the 6 yard box. Damgard tries to get on the end of it, but unfortunately misses the ball. Liverpool also created a few chances themselves, but nothing really to trouble the keeper. Gakpo had a header early on in the first half, which got saved by the keeper. Diaz had a couple of shots as well that was also saved. So Bosley had a couple of opportunities and almost brought the deadlock, to be fair. The first one, he went on a bit of a mazy run inside the box, hits a low shot with his left foot. Unfortunately, did not apply enough power. Then he has a shot that I've been screaming for him to do all season, where he controls the ball, creates half a yard outside the box, and takes a lethal shot. And that's exactly what he did today. And in the end, he smashes the top of the crossbar. Very unlucky not to score, but that is the type of position that I want Szoboszlai to take more often. Today, he showed more attacking credentials, and that's what I want from him going forward. Gakpo, towards the end of the first half, almost got into a score sheet. Our best probably chance, I would say, in the first half. Szoboszlai starting the counter attack, passes the ball to Salah. He lays off a sort of squared ball towards Gakpo. Gakpo decides to go for a left-footed finish, but unfortunately it goes wide. For me, he probably should have dinked it with his outside of his foot. That would definitely have gone in that moment. But that's pretty much short summary of the first half. In terms of the second half, McAllister produced a header from a corner kick. Some parts of the stadium forward got in. You heard cheers, especially when you're watching on TV. But unfortunately, hit the side netting. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold had a long shot from about 25 yards, just missed the post. And at that stage, the game had opened up. It was pretty much end-to-end action. And then Salah, who's had a very quiet game, to be fair, pops up just outside of the box, hits a low shot. I thought it was going in. I was almost on the verge of celebrating. He just misses the post. But one of our substitutes who had a great impact in the end was Darwin Núñez. Liverpool break the deadlock around the 91st minute. Great persistence from Trent. He drives into the attacking box, tried a cross third, which got blocked, but then second time round, instinctively passes it low towards the near post. Darwin Núñez hits it with an instinctive finish and finds the back of the net. So that was 1-0. And that stage, you're thinking, that goal is going to seal the victory. But then a minute later, Darwin Núñez scores a second goal. Great move from Chiesa, who probably made his first cameo in the Premier League, I believe. He passes it to Harvey Elliott. He takes his time. He doesn't rush anything. Finds the pass to Darwin Núñez, who cuts inside the box and smashes it into the goal. And what a goal it was, and what a way to conclude the game. I'll be honest with you, in terms of the first half, a bit of a ball first in terms of how we play. I thought we were very slow, very passive. We did create some chances, but not really enough to trouble the keeper. Brentford, however, showed their true ability today. Uh, a lot of counter attacks, and unfortunately for them, most of the shots were straight at the keeper. For me, we thoroughly deserved to win. It was a similar performance to the Forest game where we weren't great in the first half. Second half, we stepped up, couldn't find the finishing touch in front of goal. Today, slightly different. We got the finishing touch down to Darwin Núñez. Overall, we had about 37, 38 shots on goal, 8 on target. So we were peppering shots all day long. We just couldn't hit with any conviction, or we didn't really have our shooting boots on. But thankfully, Darwin Núñez did. So I don't want to hear rival fans telling me that, oh, Liverpool are very lucky because they scored 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. We should have scored a few goals a long time ago, in my opinion. So, but hey, couldn't care less what rival fans have to say. That doesn't matter. We are now 7 points clear at the top. Arsenal, as I mentioned earlier, drew today. Their fans are losing their marbles, so life is good right now. Plus, we still have a game in hand against Everton, which will take place in February. So, if we win that, that is 10 points clear. Now, I genuinely believe this win has a real significance. I think it will be the win that you'll look back and think, you know what, it really helped us secure the title. Call me deluded, but this one just feels a bit special. Like it's some sort of defining moment, and it had to be Darwin Nunes, a player that splits the fan base. And look, you couldn't make that sort of stuff up. Love him or hate him, um, today's not the day to describe him as an overall player. Today is the day to celebrate him because he produced the goods and he deserves all the praise in the world. So well done to Liverpool, great win. And also got to give credit to Arne Slot. I think he made the right substitutions today. I actually predicted all the substitutions that he made because it was the right player that needed to be on the pitch. So yeah, good performance from the manager and overall a great performance from the team. So let's move on and do the player ratings. If you're watching live, feel free to enter your scores in the live chat. So let me bring the graphic as you can probably see on the screen right now. So let me make it a little bit bigger. Here we go. So in terms of Alisson's performance today, yes, he was actually kept busy, to be fair. Not so much in the first half, but they certainly tried to pepper a lot of balls inside the box, crosses. They brought on uh, Sade, the German winger. He was quite chaotic on that left hand side. He had a couple of shots, and Bromo had a few as well. Wissa had a couple as well, but in the end, they weren't really sort of like spectacular saves weren't required. They were pretty much routine saves straight at the keeper. But nonetheless, a solid performance from Allison, who's been getting, in my opinion, slightly unfair criticism. He's not had the best of games in the last 2 or 3 fixtures, but it's still Allison. He's still able to turn up when required. So for me, the criticism was slightly unjust, but at the same time, I did understand a lot of fans' point of view in terms of why they feel like he's not performing to his level. But sometimes with the number of games that are being played right now. I know he's a goalkeeper, but he's just come back from a long injury, so he's still finding his sort of rhythm in between the sticks in that case. So for me, I feel he had a solid game today, really solid game. Didn't really cause any issues. His distribution was fine today. So in terms of his performance, I'll give him I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I think that's still a solid rating for Allison. Trent for me was really good today, considering he had Damsgaard, who's not a speed merchant or anything to that nature, but a very tricky player, a player that is skillful, cuts in, can attack very well in terms of shooting or finding spaces in the box. So you still have to be very much focused and defending against a tough customer like that. And I thought he handled him really well. Even when Charlie, the German defender, came on, he caused a bit of issues, but Trent handled him very well as well, in my opinion. So for me, great performance from Trent, defensively and attacking wise. Obviously provided the assist for the opening goal, so he gets an assist to his name there. But no, solid game from Trent Alexander-Arnold. So for today's rating, I'm actually going to give him quite a high rating. I think it's going to get an 8.5 from me. I thought he was really solid. Kanate, another good performance from him. He pretty much kept Embremo out of the action for large parts of the game. I know Kanate wasn't directly playing on his side of the pitch, but with Embremo, his approach to the game, he would generally cut infield. So when he's doing that, Kanate is the first one to go after him and make sure that he doesn't have any influence or gets anything past him. So he handled Mbama very well, and that broke down a lot of attacks. In terms of his general play, passing was decent today. Um, was strong from aerial challenges. So very, very solid performance and slowly getting back to his usual self in terms of fitness. I think the last couple of games he was still finding his range, but he's 90%. I think he's almost there. So for today's performance, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Of course, kept a clean sheet as well. And his captain alongside him there, Virgil van Dijk, another strong performance today. Really solid, not really exposed at all. I know there's that one moment where Mbeumo passed him, and generally you don't make a note of things like that, but because of Van Dijk, it becomes a memorable moment for the player. For some, it might be a a lifetime achievement because no one gets past Van Dijk in that manner. But at the same time, when he did get past him, he still managed to claim the ball. So that's intelligence from the centre back more than anything else. In those moments, you don't need to be rushed to tackle the player. You just got to take your time, and then when the time is right, use your body strength, and then get the ball away from him. So generally, solid game from Van Dijk. Definitely helped with our clean sheet, and he led the defensive line really well today. So for me, he gets a 9 out of 10. Simicast, one of his first starts in a long time. I actually thought he had a very good game today. Really solid. I didn't feel nervous seeing Simicast on the pitch like I do seeing another left back in the team. Very solid in terms of defensively. Obviously, had a very tricky opponent in Burma, but didn't really, you know, spin him or come inside out, anything to that nature. Handled him, gave him the space when needed, but then when he needed to be a bit more aggressive and need to close up on him, he certainly did that on a number of occasions. Attacking wise, for me, kept the ball moving on that left hand side. Crossing was decent at the corner kicks. I just don't feel like wasn't the best, to be fair. We had a lot of corners. I think we were close to 20 corners, and he took a few of them as well. I don't know. It's something we need to work with. Might need to hire the Arsenal coach to improve us in set pieces. But no, for me, a solid, solid performance from Simicast. I was really pleased for him to start today. So for me, he gets an 8 out of 10. McAllister, if I'm being brutally honest, guys, slightly underwhelming performance in my eyes for McAllister. I just don't feel like he got involved as much as I would like him to. A lot of his passing was sideways passes, which really frustrated me in this game. He seems to be playing a bit more further up, which is not, by choice. It's more of a tactical approach from Arsenal. I understand that, but I don't feel like he's making good use of the ball. The forward passes that he did produce weren't good enough, were quite predictable, quite flat, easy to defend against. So for me, being a playmaker in the team, he didn't really make things happen, in my opinion. So fortunately, I can't give him a very high rating, but still had a decent enough game. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Brownback for me had a good game today. He definitely improved more in the second half. I feel like he felt a bit more freedom. There was a couple of moments where it was very predictable in terms of how he'll play, and then he'll just have that half turn and then start carrying the ball. Did that on a few occasions. So, it gave us a different outlook, gave us a different sort of style of play as well at times because we were very predictable, trying to play it to the wide players. For him to just take the ball, run down the middle, it caused a bit of confusion for the Brentford defense. So for me, another solid game from Gravenberch. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. A much better performance here from Sabozlai for me. Uh, Last week, I thought he was quite rusty in terms of his playing, very wasteful in possession, and not much of an attacking threat. Today was the complete opposite almost, where I thought like he was really energetic today. His passing rate was quite good in my opinion. Showed a variation, whether it's long balls or zipped passes across the pitch. Showed a better range today, which is good to see. What impressed me the most was the fact that he's actually trying to take some shots. He had the one moment where he used his attacking instinct, where he got the ball, went past 2, 3 players. The shot, he couldn't pull it off because he didn't have a lot of space to generate power. But that's what I want to see from Sabos. Like he has that in his locker. So that's why I feel like this number 10 role or this advanced 8 or this free role that he has, however you want to describe it, he is able to have an attacking influence into the team. So for me, he needs to do that a lot more. He needs to take more long shots as well. The shot that he had in the first half, unbelievable technique, rattles the top of the crossbar. That's what he has in his locker. He's more than capable of doing that on a gamely basis. So for me, he needs to do that a lot more. And then I feel like people will analyze him and think, do you know what? He is actually the complete player. He is the number 10 that we need in his team because in terms of his off work duties, he's great in terms of bringing energy and his pressing. But it's just the overall output in terms of goals and assists is lacking in terms of numbers. So if he's able to add to that, then we know we've got a solid player in our ranks. So for me, very good performance today. Um, so in terms of his rating, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Mohamed Salah, I have to be honest with you guys. Another poor performance from the Egyptian King. Very quiet today. Hardly involved in the first half. In the second half, he had a couple of shots here and there. But yeah, not great today. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think none of our attackers, in terms of the front three, were at their best. Um, I'm trying to see how else I can describe his performance. Yeah, first half, not much going on, to be fair. Wasn't really involved. Uh, of course, he provided the through ball to Gakpo that led to an opportunity towards the end of the first half. In the second half, he did have a couple of shots. That one shot where he just missed the post. That was a crucial moment there. But generally, I feel like his overall play was non-existent in terms of he didn't really take the fullback on directly. Tried to find pockets to exploit, but no, not good today. So slight concern. Um, this might be a high score to some people. I'm going to give him 6 out of 10. I don't think he was great, but yeah, um, this it's just unfortunate because with Salah, he doesn't need to have a good performance to shine in matches. He gets a goal or gets an assist, and in the last three Premier League games, he hasn't been able to do that. So yeah, it's something he needs to work on in upcoming games. Gakpo on the other side was probably slightly better, if I'm being honest, but not hugely. Um, Obviously, the chance that I mentioned where he probably should have scored, just went for the wrong execution, ended up going for a left-footed, side-footed pass. For me, should have dinked it with the outside of his butt, and then that would have definitely gone in. And the second half, yeah, he wasn't really involved as much, which is probably why he got taken off. But no, wasn't involved as much. He did have a shot. He had a header in the first half. Remember, I had a shot towards the first half. Um, So yeah, and not the best performance today. So for me, he was slightly better than Mohamed Salah. So I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. Diaz for me was not great today, if I'm being brutally honest. And it's something that's been evident in the last 2, 3 fixtures. The games that we faced, the likes of United, Nottingham Forest, and today's game as well. These are oppositions that play the low block. So he wasn't able to capitalize from playing a free role in the team. Where I know he's supposed to be playing a false nine, but that basically represents him, having more space. He's able to attack both channels and through the middle. And for me, it's just not working. And it might be a thing where it works if he's come off the bench or if it's against a team that have a different setup. If it's a low block, then you're sort of very limited in terms of how you can attack the opposition. You have to play a certain way. You have to use your width a lot more, and that's probably what suits Diaz more because he's such a live wire on the wings. It's probably better for him to play on the left side rather than through the middle. Not saying he's not he can't play this role. He can play this role. I just feel like against certain opposition, it just doesn't suit his skill set. And today, he had a few shots. I remember in the second half, I found it a bit frustrating. There was one moment where um, we had an opportunity where Luis Diaz was on the edge of the box, and there was four Liverpool players ready to, get onto the end of something, and then he just, I don't know, he just completely chooses the wrong option. And then there was another moment where Gakpo gave him the through ball. He took a shot that got blocked, and then his first touch, he cuts in, and you're thinking he's going to square it to someone, and he ends up taking a shot, and it goes out for a goal kick. So poor decision making from him today. Had a few snapshots, didn't really trouble the keeper. So for me, overall, not a great game. I think it was probably the worst out of the front three, in my opinion. So for me, he gets 5 out of 10. It might seem a bit harsh, but I wasn't impressed with Lucha today, unfortunately. So that is my player rating. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add our substitutes. And if there's any callers, I'll bring some callers on. Otherwise, I'll go through the comments and then we'll close the show. So let's try and think who came on as a sub today. It was Robertson came on like for Simicast. And then you have Darwin Nunes that came on for sorry, Darwin Nunes coming on for Luis Diaz. So Nunes there. And then you also had Curtis Jones replacing McAllister. And then Harvey Elliott coming on for Sobozlai, which was such a welcome sight because fortunately Harvey Elliott doesn't get many chances. So I was pleased for him to play in his number 10 role today. And the final substitution, Chiesa, another surprising substitute, comes on for Gakpo on the left-hand side. So let's start in order in terms of when the players were substituted. That's we'll start Robertson. So he came on. I was a little bit surprised that Simicast was taken off because I thought Simicast was having a good game. But it might just be squad rotation, not to overburn. Simicast has just recently returned to first team action in terms of the last few weeks. Robertson actually did decent when he came on. Was passing, he was okay. Did a couple of corner kicks, which were fine. So generally solid sort of performance. Nothing, he's not caused any issues or making any individual errors, which is, thank God when he came on. So for me, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Now, in terms of the next player, it was. Do you know what? I'm going to leave him until last. We'll talk about that player. So we'll start with, excuse me, Curtis Jones. So Curtis Jones came on and he didn't do anything poor, anything to that nature. I think he pretty much kept everything neat and tidy. Um, tried to be a bit more involved in sort of the attacking. How he was based a lot around the edge of the box, so he was trying to make things happen. But unfortunately, he didn't really have the space to hit those through balls. But nevertheless, still a decent cameo. So for me, he gets a 6 out of 10. Excuse me. Who's the next player? Harvey Elliott, as I touched on a bit earlier on. Very pleased that he came on. I've been saying it for quite a while that Harvey Elliott needs to come on as a number 10, not shifted to the right wing. I feel like that is the role that really suits his skill set. And today was evident. I know he didn't have a lot of minutes and probably didn't have, a large contribution to the team. But for me, his movement was really good. The second goal was down to his calmness on the ball, his through ball, his vision, his creativity. So for me, he might not be the most powerful player in terms of physique, or he might not be the quickest player as well. But he's got other qualities where I feel like that could really benefit our team in moments where we're playing low blocks and we face low blocks probably more teams than anyone else. You need a player like that who could come on and have an impact. So I'm not saying he needs to be a definite starter because I feel like Sobozlai is ahead of him in terms of what he brings to the table. But he needs to be playing a lot more minutes. He needs to be able to come on for about 20, 30 minutes and really have an impact in this team. So for me, I'm glad he came on today. Hopefully, Arsenal, will have a bit more faith to use him a lot more in the upcoming games. So for me, he gets a 7 out of 10 today. Got an assist as well. Good cameo from Harvey Elliott. And Chiesa as well. Came on, played on the left wing, provided the ball to Harvey Elliott to assist Darwin Núñez. So definitely had a good impression when he came on. Um, Hopefully, it's one of many performances from Chiesa's first, I think, the second performance in the Premier League. But no, good to see him in action. Um, I think he will have a bit more of a role in the coming weeks, but probably more so off the bench than starting, in my opinion. But still, for me, had a decent cameo. So today, I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. And the final player, Darwin Núñez. Look, let's not talk about what he's done over the season or anything to that nature. I'm just pleased that we rejected that 70 million bid from Al Hilal last week, if you believe the rumors, because if he wasn't around, probably would have got the goals today. He was a difference maker. It's as simple as that. He came on, he didn't really get involved much in the build-up play, but he's our number 9. That's what he signed up for. He's there to score the goals, and he produced the goods today. The first one, instinctive finish, and I feel like that is Darwin Núñez, where when he doesn't need to think about his finish, he's actually not bad. But when he's, one on one and he needs to be a bit more calm and a bit more composed, it just doesn't it doesn't go well with him. It just I think overthinks it too much and it ends up hitting it or over hitting it at times. And the second one, very smartly, where Harvey played the ball towards Nunes, but some players may have dummied it or controlled it and laid it off to Salah, who was on his left side. But he did the right thing. He cut inside and just smashed it into the goal. Yes, it wasn't in the corner, but who cares? It still hit the back of the net. So for me, a great impact off the bench. And for me, our man of the match. It can't be anyone else. I know everyone's had good games today, but it has to be Darwin. So for me, if it's not going to be shirt number, it's going to be one number ahead. He gets a 10 out of 10. And that obviously means that he is our man of the match. So Darwin Núñez is my man of the match. Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. So yeah, so that is the player ratings. I'm just going to go through some of the comments now. Let's start with Abdul. He says, "Hi, Ozzy and chat. Assalamu alaikum. How you all doing? Welcome salam to you, Abdul. I'm doing good, thank you. A lot better with the win, but yes, I hope you're doing well as well, Abdul. He said, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Brentford 0, Liverpool 2, Nunes smash and grab job. He certainly was. And he got 6 point and 1 game. Free Palestine. You'll never walk on bless up and many thanks. Free Palestine indeed. And then he said, next 5 games, Lille, Ipswich, PSV, Bournemouth, Tottenham. We need to keep on winning. We need reinforcements. We need owners with ambition. Players need to sign contracts. Yep, they certainly do. And also says, I want the EPL and UCL this season. In addition, an extra to win FA Cup. And FA Cup will be a bonus. But we're all in it. We're all in it. So let's see. Let's see what we can uh, muster up this season. And Abdul says, I don't care about other team issue. We need to keep on winning and concentrate on our own club, which is Liverpool. That's facts. Ashik, big up yourself. He says Liverpool are strong UCL and Premier League winners. That's what I predicted as well. I'm hoping that is the case. Abdul's player ratings is, let's see, he's gone for 8 for Allison, Trent 7, Van Dijk 7.5, Konate 7, Simicat 6.5, Makai 7, Gravenberch 7, so Bozlak 6.5, Gakpo 7, Salah 7, Diaz 7, Harvey 7, Nunes 9, Jones 6.5, Robo 6, and Chiesa 6. So my ratings slightly different to yours. I feel like I've gone, maybe I'm a bit too, excited or happy about this victory. I've gone a little bit higher for a lot of the players. But that's fair in terms of your assessment there. Man of the match, Nunes, of course, can't be anyone else. As I said, Nunes needs to be more consistent with his performances. Yeah, for me, it's just the finishing, and unfortunately, he's not consistent in front of goal. So, you know, we've had him for 3 years so far. It hasn't really improved. Like, I'm not going to take anything away from today because he's produced the goods, but I feel like there's still areas of his game that he really needs to work on in terms of having that calmness and that composure in front of goal. But hey, look, I'm not gonna speak down on Nunes today. It's his day today. So I'm not here to critique him anymore. Abdul saying, good Robbo told Nunes not to take his shirt off second time. Oh yeah, could have been sent off. That would have been wise, would it? Ozzie, come back, big up. So he says, what a great Saturday today has been. It certainly has. What a great to the start to the weekend. Graham, big up Graham. He says, so happy with today's result. But Darwin isn't consistent enough. Pity because he was great today. Yeah, that is the story of Darwin Nunes, unfortunately. Not always consistent. especially in front of goal. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I feel like, I think he's got the most goals um, after the 90th minute. So it just shows you what kind of player he is. I always feel like he's a good impact sub to have, but for the long-term future of the club, I do feel like it'll be a point where another striker will need to come in and he'll need to make space for them. But until then, we'll speak about that, in future shows. It's not necessary today because for me, it's Darwin Nunes Day today. Yeah, he's the man of the match and deserves all the praise. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Abdul. Thank you to Ashik. Thank you to Ozan Kabak. And thank you to Graham for your comments. Appreciate your time as always, guys. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. In terms of upcoming show, no shows tomorrow, but we'll be back from Monday. We've got, I believe we'll have the Premier League review show. I know Chelsea are playing on that fixture, so I'll try and do it straight after the game. If not, it'll be a Tuesday show. Um, and Liverpool are playing on Tuesday as well, actually. So it'll be a live watch along for Liverpool versus Lille, plus the match reaction show. So lots of shows coming up next week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you know what time my streams will begin. And I've just got a couple of comments here from Abdul. Abdul said, "Bless up the guest coming on your show. They have experience, knowledge, high IQ, and understand the club." Of course, most definitely. And not to sound silly, but when I do these collaborations with Liverpool content creators, it's always people that I have huge respect for. So I'm a bit more selective. I don't just invite anyone on my show. So for me, if someone's come on the show, it's because I have a lot of respect in terms of their knowledge, and yeah, uh, try and produce as much great content with fellow Liverpool content creators, trying to build a community. So yeah, big up yourself for appreciating the guests that we've had in the last week or so. Abdul says like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you. So big up yourself, Abdul. So yeah, we'll be back next week. Lots more shows coming up. So until next time, guys, take care, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your evening and weekend, and we shall be back very, very soon. Goodbye.